I guess it's fine now. Finally, yeah. Okay. So this is the syllabus which we have on hand. So you can notice that logical reasoning is for 25 marks here, the other 25 being legal aptitude. So now, if you look at the logical reasoning subject itself, there are three divisions. One is logical reasoning, then we have verbal reasoning, and lastly, we have non-verbal reasoning. Now, so I don't know why the institute has divided the topics like that, because there are few mismatches here as well. Anyway, so now in case of logical reasoning, we have topics like calendars, wherein we'll be required to find the particular day of the year when they give the number of days of gap, and then this is based on the weeks concept. And then we have something known as leap year. There is some theory regarding that in this topic. Then we have cause and effect reasoning, wherein they will give the cause and the effect, and we'll have to select the right option. Then we have clocks, which is mostly based on the angles between the minute and the hour hand. Then we have coding and decoding, which is one of the most easiest topics which you have, wherein let's say A equals Z and B equals X and C equals Y, something of this sort will be there, and they will write a word using these codes, and we'll have to decode it. So that is part of coding and decoding. Then deriving conclusions from passages, as the name itself says, there will be a passage, and based on that passage, there will be few conclusions. We'll have to see if whatever conclusions they have drawn is actually based on the passage or not. So similar topic is drawing inference. Then we have number test, which is mostly based on arithmetic, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, all those types. Then sequence and series, once again, is closely related to number test. As I said, there are topics which are similar to one another. So even though we have separate topics here, when you get into those topics, you will realize it is not very different from the other topic, which is of similar nature. Then statement and assumptions, there will be a statement or multiple statements, in fact, and there will be assumptions. We'll have to see whether those assumptions hold good based on the statements given in the question. Then we come to verbal reasoning, wherein we have alphabet test, alphanumeric sequence puzzle. I can club these two actually based on the series of alphabets like A to Z and sometimes Z to A. So that is covered in these two topics. Then we have analogy, assertion and reason, which is something similar to one of the topics here in logical reasoning. When we get into that, you will know. Then one of the most interesting topics in the entire syllabus, that is blood relations, wherein, as the name itself says, so you will be questioned on the relations between the parties in the question. So that is why it's called blood relations. We'll have to find out what is the relationship between the parties in that case. Then decision making, very important topic, but it's very difficult to ask the questions from this topic because it's kind of descriptive in nature, but nevertheless we'll be looking into that. Decision making involves, let's say there will be a problem which will be given to you, and based on that problem, based on the data which is given to you, you'll have to make a specific decision. Then inserting missing characters, very interesting topic once again, because here let's say there is a box like this, then say 1 2 3, the fourth character is missing. You'll have to identify which character is that. So that is something which we cover in that particular topic. Then we have logical sequence test, very similar to what we see in inserting missing characters. A logical Venn diagram, this and this particular topic, that is syllogism, can be clubbed together. Number ranking and time sequence test. Once again, these are the topics which are similar to the topics which we have already covered in logical reasoning. So another important topic here is truth tellers and liars. The reason why I'm covering this particular topic now, that is in this live session, is the theory which is available in the reference material is, what can I say, is of substandard quality. So it's nothing much can be understood from that. So let us try to understand what exactly they mean by truth tellers and liars. Then we have non-verbal reasoning, wherein we mostly look at objects, we look at diagrams, we look at pictures and try to identify the relationship between those items. For example, we have analytical reasoning, wherein there will be various figures. We'll have to identify what is the relationship between those figures. Then classification, completion of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, all these of the same family. Grouping of identical figures, so wherein figures of same family will be there and there will be one missing figure. you'll have to just complete that or group them. Mirror image, as the name itself says, it's like if there is something of this sort, then how is that mirrored? You'll have to look at that. Then there is rule detection, wherein there will be some rule which will be followed by the items given in the data set, and you'll have to see whether a particular rule is being followed properly or not in that particular problem. Then we have number and alphabetic series, which is again similar to this alphabet test. So that is briefly about the syllabus. Of course, if you try to cover this in detail, then it will take plenty of time. That's why I just try to briefly touch upon the topics in the logical reasoning section of CSEET program. Now, what we will be doing is we'll be looking at specific topics, let's say blood relations, and then we'll see if we can cover other topics as well. Now, meanwhile, it goes without saying that if at all you have any doubts regarding anything related to this, you may ask in the chat window. We'll try to answer. Now, we have the first question here, wherein they say, pointing to a photograph, of a boy, Suresh said. So Suresh is the one who is actually pointing the photograph of a boy. So what is Suresh saying in this case? He is the son of the only son of my mother. Now, there is a photograph. There is some person here in the photograph. So this is the photo. Now, then let's say this is Suresh. Now, what is Suresh doing here? He points to this particular photograph and he says, he, that is the person in the photograph, is the son of the only son of my mother. So now that is the thing. How is Suresh related to that boy? So once again, all that we need for this particular statement is only the statement which Suresh is making. What is Suresh saying here? He is only saying he, that is the person in the photograph, is the son of the only son of my mother. Now we have four options here: brother, uncle, cousin, and father. Now, what is the relationship of Suresh with this particular person? If you can answer, please do answer. So we'll proceed with the explanation now. Now, first of all, we'll have to break this statement of Suresh into two divisions. Let's say, only son of my mother. Let me take that part first. Only son of my mother. So now, if his mother has only one son, who that person would be? Mother's only son is none other than Suresh, because if Suresh's mother has only one son, it should obviously be Suresh himself. So now we have identified this particular person in the question. So now I'll just rewrite the statement made by Suresh. He is the son of only son of my mother, he had said. Now, instead of only son of my mother, I will write he is the son of Suresh. Now, it is easier for us to identify the relationship between Suresh and the person in the photograph. Now, the son of the Suresh is the person who is in the photograph here. If that is the son, what is the relationship between Suresh and that boy? Very simple. Suresh is nothing but the father of that particular person who is there in the photograph. That's it. I hope it was clear. If you have any doubts, please do ask before we proceed to the next question. Now, if A is the brother of B, B is the sister of C, and C is the father of D, how D is related to A? So this is the question. Now we have four options: brother, sister, nephew, and cannot be determined as well. Sometimes what happens, the question will give us incomplete information. If there is incomplete information in the question, then there is no way we can actually identify the relationship or the blood relations. So that option is also given here. Now let us do one thing. Let us write down. See, whenever you face a question of this nature, it is better to write down so that it will be easy for us to break the question into different parts. Now we have A here. Then if A is the brother of B, they say, okay. Then B is the sister of C. A is the brother. So and B is the sister. So we will know the gender in this case, and we know that they are all siblings. Okay. Then what else is given? And C is the father of D. Okay, C is the father of D. So that means A is male, B is female, and C is once again male. Now what is that they have asked? How D, that is the child of C, is related to A. Now, out of the options, if you can pick one, which one would you pick? We have brother, sister, nephew, and cannot be determined. Which one do you think is the right answer in this case? So A is obviously the uncle of D, but the problem here is they say how D is related to A. They are not asked how A is related to D. So we will have to determine the relationship from the point of view of D. From D's point of view, we have to identify the relationship. In this case, the problem here is we can, okay, how is D related to A? Sorry, we will have to identify the relationship from the point of view of A. Okay, so now because how D is related to A, they say, in this case, can we say A has a brother C and that brother has a son named D? Can we say that? Of course, we cannot say that because we do not know the gender of D. If we had known the gender of D, we could have easily said A's nephew is D. Since we do not know the gender, we cannot say either A's nephew or niece is D. So this relationship between A and D, though A is the uncle of D, we cannot determine what exactly D is. So therefore, given the choices, we cannot say it's brother. Obviously, brother is ruled out. Sister is also ruled out. Nephew could be an option, but we do not know the gender. It could be niece as well. Nothing has been mentioned. So therefore, the right option to select in this case would be cannot be determined. We cannot determine because the gender of the person in question, that is D, is not mentioned in the problem. So that's the thing. Next, moving on. Introducing a boy, a girl said, he is the son of the daughter of the father of my uncle. Okay, there are many relationships here. Let's look into the statement after breaking it part by part. Okay, father of my uncle. Let's come to the last part of the relationship. Father of my uncle. Father of your uncle would be none other than your grandfather. Okay. Now, he is the son of the daughter of the father of my uncle. So now grandfather's daughter. In this case, it could be, okay, let me write down as it is, grandfather's daughter. Okay. Now, he is the son of such particular person. That is the daughter of the father of my uncle. So that is grandfather's daughter's son. Once again, first we have the grandfather, and that grandfather has a daughter. Let me just write it down. Grandfather, and grandfather has a daughter, and that daughter has a son. Now that is the thing. Now introducing a boy, a girl said that. So the son is that boy. Okay. Now, how is the boy related to girl? She said this boy is the daughter of my uncle's father. Your uncle's father is your grandfather, and his daughter could be either your mother if it is the maternal grandfather, or it could be your aunt. Okay, we do not know that here. Then her son, if this daughter is your mother, then this son will be your brother, and if this person is your aunt, then this person will be your nephew. So if it is mother, it will be brother, and if it is aunt, it will be nephew. Now, do we know or do we have any data to pinpoint the uh, daughter's relationship with you? Obviously not. In this case, we do not know whether your grandfather's daughter is your mother or is your aunt. So since we do not know that, we cannot determine whether that boy whom you are pointing to is your brother or is your nephew. So therefore, the right option in this case also is can't be determined. Moving on. Pointing to a photograph, Lata says, he is the son of the only child of my grandfather. Okay, a very similar question, but there is one slight difference. We'll come to that in a minute. Okay, let me break down the quote here. Son of only child of my grandfather. Son of the only child of my grandfather. No. So first write down grandfather here. Then grandfather's only child. We do not know the gender here. It could be male or female, and their son. Okay. Now, now how do we identify this? Can we say this person, grandfather, we already know. Let's look at this question from the point of view of Lata. That will be easier for us to identify the relationship. Now, Lata is saying this particular person is the son of the only child of my grandfather. So Lata's grandfather has only one child, so only child. So, and that child could be male or female, and they have one son. Now, Lata is saying this son is the son of the only child of her grandfather. Now, if this is Lata's grandfather, it could be Lata's maternal grandfather, or it could be paternal grandfather. That is from the mother's side or from the father's side. Okay. This only child, since we do not know the gender, could be either Lata's father or Lata's mother. Because it cannot be anyone else. It cannot be Lata's aunt. Because if this person has only one child, if Lata's grandfather has only one child, and that child is Lata's aunt, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because then that person cannot be Lata's grandfather. So it has to be obviously either Lata's father or Lata's mother. Now, what is Lata saying? Indirectly, she is saying whoever this person is in the photograph is the son, or rather the son of the father or mother of Lata. That means it is none other than her brother. So therefore, in this case, even though we do not know the gender of the only child of the grandfather, we can still determine the relationship of this particular person in the photograph with that of Lata easily, because father or mother doesn't really make any difference to the relationship between this person and Lata. In any case, this person in the photograph will be Lata's brother. So that is the answer in this case. I hope it is clear. Next, moving on. A is B's daughter. B is C's mother. How is D related to A? So that is the question in this case. Okay, let me just break it down. A is the daughter of B. Okay, so This is the daughter. We do not know the gender of B yet, nothing is mentioned. And B is C's mother. Okay, there is one more person. Okay, now this is interesting because now they say B is C's mother. So if she is the mother, then obviously she is female gender. Okay, then what else is given? D is C's brother. Okay, C has a brother named D. Now we have three siblings, in fact, A, C, and D. These three are siblings, that is, children of same parents. So now, what is the question? How is D related to A? So this is very easily answered. Is nothing but the brother here, because we know A is female, because very clearly in the first sentence itself they have mentioned A is B's daughter and D is C's brother. So if C has a brother named D, A will also have a brother named D, because they're all siblings. So therefore the right answer in this case is option C, that is brother. Moving on. B is the brother of A. Okay, let me just write it down, that way it will be easy. B is the brother of A. Okay, whose only sister, there is one more sister here, the name is not mentioned, so we'll call that person X. Okay, whose only sister is the mother of C. Okay, there is one person here, C. C's mother is X, who is the sister of A, and C has, X has one more sibling named D. D is the maternal grandmother of C. Okay, C has a maternal grandmother, that means mother side grandmother. So C's mother is X and X's mother is, let's say, D. It is mentioned in the question. So now this is the relationship which we have established so far. Once again, B is the brother of A, whose only sister is C, is the mother of C. That means B is male. Otherwise, X cannot be only sister. This is also male. Okay, we do not know that actually. A could be female as well. So X is obviously female and she has a daughter. No, we do not know the gender of C either. But what we know is C and D are grandmother and grandchild. So let's call D the grandmother here of C. Now, what is the question? How is A related to D? The relationship between A and D. Let us look at the options now. Daughter-in-law, obviously not. A is either the daughter, since we do not know the gender. It could be either daughter or it could be son, based on the gender. Aunt, not possible. Nephew, also not possible. Since the option says daughter, we will select daughter. Out of the given options, we have daughter as one of the possible options. So we will select option B. Now, here we have to be very careful, because if in the exam, if the question had one more option saying option D cannot be determined, in that case, what we'll have to do is we'll have to write option D cannot be determined. Why it cannot be determined? Because it could be either daughter or son. A's gender is not made known anywhere. But out of the given options, we have daughter. So therefore, for that reason, we are selecting daughter as the right option in this case. Okay, Aman Singh says hello. Hello, Aman. Next, moving on. Okay, this slightly different type of question. Given that, okay, A is the mother of B, C is the son of A, D is the brother of E, E is the daughter of B, who is the grandmother of D. Okay, actually a very simple question, though it looks complicated. So let us write it down. A is the mother of B. Okay. C is the son of A, so A is the mother of C as well. So C is son. That makes our job easier to identify the gender. Then what else is given? D is the brother of E. So where is E coming into picture now? In the next line, they have given the details of E. E is in fact the daughter of B. Okay, B has a daughter who is named as E. Okay, and D is the brother of E. E has a brother. Okay, D. That means B has two children, E and D. A has two children, B and C. Now, what is that they have asked? Who is the grandmother of D? Okay, so now since we already know A is the mother, so we know the gender of A in this case. So she's female, obviously. She has one child, that is C, son. B, we do not know the gender. It could be daughter or the son. But B has two children, E and D. Now the question is, what is the relationship of D and A? Or rather, who is the grandmother of D? The grandmother of D is none other than A, because D's father or mother is B and B's mother is A. So therefore, grandmother of D is obviously A, and the option which selects A is option A itself. I hope it is clear. Next. Introducing Sonia, Amir says, she is the wife of only nephew of only brother of my mother. How is Sonia related to Amir? Once again, who is introducing Sonia? Amir is the one who is introducing Sonia. And what does he say? He says, she is the wife of the only nephew of the only brother of my mother. Okay, we'll start from the mother. So this is Amir's mother. Okay. His mother has only one brother. Okay. Mother's brother. Okay, is also uncle. Okay. And she is the wife of the only nephew of the only brother of my mother. Okay. So uncle's only nephew would be none other than Amir himself, because there is no one else. So that would be Amir, nephew of his uncle. She is the wife of the only nephew. Only nephew, we have already established it as Amir, and it would be Amir's wife whom he is introducing. That is his wife. So who is that person? In this case, that person is Sonia. Sonia is the wife of the only nephew of only brother of Amir's mother. So Amir's mother has only one brother, and that brother, that is mother's brother, has only one nephew, that is Amir himself. And she is the wife of that only nephew, means it is Amir's wife. So Amir's wife in this case is Sonia. Now, how is Sonia related to Amir? Very easy. Option A, Sonia is Amir's wife. Next, moving on. P is the mother of K. K is the sister of D, and D is the father of J. How is P related to J? So that is the question. Again, a very simple question. Let us break it down. So we have mother P, whose children are K and D. Okay, mother of K, and K is the sister of D. So therefore, K and D are children of P. And D is the father of J. So D has one child, J. Now the question is, how is P related to J? We have mother, obviously ruled out. Grandmother could be aunt obviously it cannot be the case, because D's child is J and D's mother is P, because we know the gender of P, that is female. So therefore she becomes the grandmother to this person J. So how is P related to J? P is in fact the grandmother. So option B is the right answer in this case. So data inadequate is not relevant here, because we have the actual data with respect to the persons in the question. Moving on. Pointing to Gopi, okay, Nalini says, and the daughter of the only son of his paternal grandfather. How is Nalini related to Gopi? Okay, let us break it down. Pointing to Gopi. So who is saying this? Nalini is saying this. What is she saying? I am the daughter of the only son of his paternal grandfather. So his in this case refers to Gopis. So we'll move from Gopi's point of view. So let's say this is Gopi. His paternal grandfather means Gopi has a father. We do not know the name. We'll call it X. Call them X. So this is Gopi's father. So father of Gopi. And his father, let's call them grandfather. Okay, paternal grandfather of Gopi. Now, we have determined this much. I am the daughter, I in the sense Nalini is the daughter of the only son of his paternal grandfather. Now, this is interesting. This paternal grandfather has only one son apparently. We already have determined that Gopi's father's father is this person. Let's call them Z. And this Z has only one son, and it cannot be anyone else other than X, who is in fact Gopi's father. So X is the only son of Z. Now this X has one more daughter, or rather one son and one daughter. Son we have already established is Gopi, and the daughter would be none other than Nalini herself. So now how is Nalini related to Gopi? If Gopi and Nalini have the same father X, so Nalini is in fact the sister of Gopi. That's it. So therefore we'll have to select the option C in this case. Moving on. A's son B is married to C, whose sister D is married to E, the brother of B. How is D related to A? Okay, we'll have to break it down, otherwise it will be difficult to understand. A son B. Okay, A has a son, let's say B, who is married to C. Okay, B's wife is C. Okay, whose sister? Okay, C has a sister. Let's call her, what's the name? D. C's sister. D married to E, the brother of B. Okay, B has a brother E, and this brother has married D, who is in fact the sister of B's wife, that is C. That means B and E are brothers who have married C and D, who are sisters. So that is the relationship in this case. So that much we have understood from the given data. Now let us look at the question. What is the question? The question says, how is D, this person, related to A? So A has two sons, B and E, and this D is in fact the wife of this son E. So therefore D would be the daughter-in-law of A. So the right option in this case would be option B, that is daughter-in-law. Next. If Kamal says Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother, how is Kamal related to Ravi? That is the question. Okay, now once again we'll have to look at the statement. What is Kamal saying? Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother. So this is actually very easy. Let us look at it from the point of view of Kamal. So Kamal's mother Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother. Okay. Ravi is here. His mother, let's say X. Okay. And X is the Ravi's mother is the only daughter of my mother. Okay. Kamal's mother's daughter. Kamal's mother, let's call her Y. And she has a daughter X. And that X is Ravi's mother. This is the equation so far. Once again, Ravi's mother X is the only daughter of Kamal's mother Y. Now, how is Kamal related to Ravi? In this case, Kamal would be Ravi's uncle. Very simple. Once again, let's say Y is Kamal's mother. Y has two children. One is Kamal himself, and the other is X, who is Kamal's sister. And this Kamal's sister X has a son named Ravi. Now the question is, how is Kamal related to Ravi? So in this case, Kamal would be Ravi's uncle. So that is the thing. So let us see if the option exists in this case. We have grandfather, definitely not father, brother. So the right option in this case would be option D, none of these. I hope it is clear. Moving on. A is father of C and D is son of B. E is brother of A. Okay. A is the father of C. Let me write down. If C is the sister of D, how is B related to E? Okay. A is the father of C and D is the son of B. A is the father of C and D is the son of B. Okay, there is one more person named D here, whose son, who is the son of B. E is the brother of A. Okay, there is some brother of A, who is E. If C is the sister of D, okay, this is very interesting. C and D are siblings, but what we already know is C's father is A and D is the son of B. If D is the son of B and C is the daughter of, or rather son of A, and C and D are siblings, then A and B obviously would be father and mother. A is already established as father, obviously D would be the mother. Okay, that is something which we have established. So husband and wife relationship between A and B. And E is the brother of A. That is okay. Now the question is, how is B related to E? Okay, A has a brother named E. And what is the relationship of E and B? This is very easy. B is none other than the sister-in-law of E. Okay. Do we have that option, sister-in-law? Yes, of course, we have this option, option A. So that is in fact the right answer. Excuse me. Moving on. B's father is Q. M is the paternal and N is the brother of Q. How is N related to M? Once again, you'll have to write it down, otherwise it will be difficult. Let's break this question into various parts. P's father is Q's son, they say. Okay, so we'll have to mention P somewhere here, who has a father. Let's call them X, who is the son of Q. So this is what the first statement says. P's father X is the son of Q. P's father, who is the son of Q. Now, M is the paternal uncle of P. Okay, paternal uncle means father's brother. Who is father of P? X. X should have a brother. M is the paternal uncle of P. And N is the brother of Q. Q also has a brother. Who is Q in terms of P? Q is P's grandfather. So this grandfather has a brother, and that person is N. Okay. Now the question is, how is this N related to M? Okay, let us break this, bring this relationship out of the equation here. Let me just rewrite something. We have Q, who has two children, X and M, and Q has a brother named N. Now the question is, how is this N related to M? N would in fact be the paternal uncle of M. That's it. Because N is father's brother. So based on that, let us look at the options. Do we have those options here? Brother, obviously not. Nephew. How is N related to M? N is not the nephew. In fact, N is the uncle of M. Cousin, no. None of this is in fact would be the right option in this case. Option D is the right option here. Moving on. In the joint family, there is a father, mother, 3 married sons, and 1 unmarried daughter of the sons. Okay, one married daughter, full stop here. Of the sons, comma, 2 have 2 daughters each, and 1 has a son. How many female members are there in the family? Okay, this is interesting. Let us write it down. Father and mother. Okay, so they have 3 married sons. So let's call them X, Y, and Z. Okay, so their wives would be X1, Y1, and Z1. Then 1 unmarried daughter, let's call her A. So father mother pair have 4 children, X, Y, Z, and A. A is the female member, and there are 3 females already as wives of their sons X, Y, and Z. Of the sons, 2 have 2 daughters each. That means X has 2 daughters. Let's call them P and Q. Y also has two daughters. Let's call them R and S. And 1 has a son. Z has only 1 son. Let's call them T. Okay. So these are also females now. How many female members are there in the family? So mother is 1 female member. Their daughter is another female member. Then we have wives. So 1, 2, 3. This is the mother. This is their daughter. These are the daughters-in-law. Then their children P and Q and R and S. So how many are there? So we have 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. So we have 9 female members in total in the household. So do we have 9 as one of the options? Obviously, yes. Option D, 9 female members are there in the family. So that's about the blood relations part. So we have tried to cover as many questions as possible in this limited time. So I tried to select those questions which I thought are slightly diverse in nature. So let us slightly deviate from this and move on to another topic called the truth tellers. Now, in case of truth tellers, what we have to understand as is evident from the statements here, the number of people in the question varies from 3 to 5. So that means, let's say there will be person 1, person 2, person 3. Usually it will be restricted to 3 persons. Now, what we'll have to do as part of the question is we'll have to identify whether that person is a truth teller or a liar or an alternator. These are the 3 positions in this type of questions. Once again, the 3 people being truth teller who will only tell the truth, and a liar who will only lie. He will not say anything other than a lie. And then there is alternator who will alternate. That means once he will say, he will utter a lie, and next time he will tell the truth. So between truth and lie, that is why he is referred to as alternator. Now, there will be more than 3 people as well, because in such a circumstance, there could be 2 truth tellers and 1 liar, or 1 alternator. There will be 4 people, or maybe there could be all the 5 truth tellers or all the 5 liars or something of that sort. But generally, in these type of questions, the number of people will be restricted to 3. So 1 truth teller, 1 liar, and 1 alternator. So what you have to do is you'll have to define or identify who is the truth teller, who is the liar, and who is the alternator. Now, so we have one example here. Let us look at the example. There are 3 men, Aman, Baghir, and Chiru. These are the 3 people here who are replying to a specific question. So now the question which is being asked of them is, who amongst you is a doctor? Okay, so one of them is a doctor. Aman, Baghir, and Chiru are the 3 people, and one of them is a doctor, and they have responded like this to that specific question. Now, what we have to understand here is, one out of these 3 always speaks the truth. One of them always lies. The one who is always speaking the truth will be called as truth teller. One who always lies will be called the liar. And finally, the one who alternates between truth and lie will be called as alternator. We have to identify who is what, like whether Aman is the truth teller, or Baghir is the truth teller, or Chiru is the truth teller. Okay. Now, let us look at their statements. So if you look at their statements, we will be able to identify who is who. Aman says, I am the doctor. Okay, if you recall, the question is, who amongst you is a doctor? Now, who is saying that he is the doctor? Aman is claiming to be the doctor. And he says, Baghir is a painter. Okay, the one additional data which we missed here is, what we know is exactly one of these men is a doctor, one is a painter, and one is an athlete. So, doctor, painter, and an athlete. These are the 3 professionals who are part of this group. Okay. Now, Aman says he is the doctor and Baghir is the painter. And he also says, I am an alternator. Alternator means I will tell truth in one statement and I will lie in the next. Then I will tell truth in the next statement. So that is what he says. Now comes Baghir. What is Baghir saying? Baghir is saying Chiru is an athlete. Okay. Aman is not a doctor and I am a liar. Now, that is the statement made by Baghir. In fact, Baghir doesn't say anything about him being a painter. He could be or he may not be the painter. Then we have Chiru who says, I am not a painter. Okay. Baghir is also not a painter and Aman is a liar. Now, sorry. Now, the important aspect for us is this part. I am a liar. So if you identify this particular statement in the question, then the rest of the statements really doesn't matter, because whoever is saying belongs to a particular category. Whoever is saying this statement, that is, I am a liar. Now, if Chiru is saying, if Bagir, I am a liar, and if he's actually a liar, then he will be truth teller, which cannot be the case because he's saying I am a liar. Once again, if Bagir is saying I am a liar, this statement, if it is a lie, then he is definitely not a liar. But if it is true, then he is once again not a liar. Once again, if this statement is true, then also Bagir is not a liar. If that statement is a lie, then also Bagir is not a liar. So then that is the case. What is the position of Bagir then? Bagir is in fact the alternator. That means Bagir is the one who alternates between lie and truth. Okay, once again, as we can notice in the notes here, whoever said I am a liar is not a truth teller. Okay, because truth teller can only say I am a truth teller. He will never say that he is a liar because he is the truth teller and he will always tell the truth. And interestingly, whoever says I am a liar cannot be a liar, as we just now saw, because it will always be a lie. Whatever the liar says, that statement becomes a true statement, then also is not a liar. Therefore, only an alternator can make the statement I am a liar. So now who is this Bagir? Bagir is the alternator, meaning his one statement is lie, his another statement is true. Now we just now proved that he cannot say I am a liar because Bagir is an alternator. Okay. So now if he is an alternator and if this statement is a lie, his previous statement will be true. And his statement previous to that will be a lie. And his next statement, whichever statement he makes, will be true once again. So it will be like lie, truth, like that. It will go on, alternate between truth and lie. So therefore, his middle statement, that is Aman is not a doctor, is in fact true. If Aman is not a doctor and Aman says that I am a doctor, obviously Aman is a liar. Aman is not telling the truth. Whatever he says is a lie. Then one person is a liar, one person is an alternator. Then what about the other person? Chiru obviously is the truth teller. So what is Chiru saying? He is not a painter, so which is true. Bagir is not a painter, which is also true. That means Bagir is the athlete. Aman is a liar. Aman is not a doctor. Aman is in fact the painter based on Chiru's statement. And Aman is already proved as a liar. And Bagir is also not a painter. But if Bagir is not a painter, then who is the painter? Aman. Then who is the athlete? Athlete will be Bagir. Then what about Chiru? Chiru is in fact a doctor. Because we know Bagir is not a painter is a true statement. If he is not a painter, what else is left? He will be athlete. So therefore, in this case, the truth teller is Chiru, Bagir is the alternator, and Aman is in fact the liar. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, please do ask. That's all for today's live session. I thought I could cover truth teller and blood relations, and maybe in the next live session we can cover the non-verbal reasoning part. So if at all you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, we will end the session now, and I hope this session was useful. And if at all you have any questions, you can leave those questions in the form of comments after the session ends. So we'll try to get back to you. Thank you.